It's 100% entertainment, 100% electricity, 100%.
Pipebomb Radio with your host, Felix Olmedo.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
And Austin James.
That's the bottom line. From Stone Cold Stone.
Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday, this lovely Tuesday evening, I guess you could say. It's the summertime. I hate it, but you know what? I'm not going to complain about it. I love Tuesday nights. They don't get here quick enough. And, boy, do we have a crazy week ahead of us, to say the least. Not to mention, of course, we had Payback last Sunday and Raw. That was pretty shocking. And
let's save that for later to talk about, because it's probably the most craziest thing that's ever happened in WWE within the last, I don't know, 6 months, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to mention it. We're going to talk about it later. I want to have stuff to talk about. But besides that the new intro made by the great Ilio 2-inch Canella, Jesus, that was amazing. And especially to be the man, you have to beat the man behind this before they say Austin James. That's appropriate in every way, shape, and form.
You know, Ilio and I talked about that. I said, you know what, I'm gonna surprise Austin. I'm not going to tell him anything, and I'm just going to play it, and I want to hear his response after we play it. And you know what? This was my hope. I was hoping, especially, and you pointed that out with the Ric Flair to be the man kind of thing. I thought you might get a kick out of that.
It's appropriate, trust me. But you know, tonight we actually have on the son of one of the most legendary professional wrestlers ever. I mean, the professional wrestling family of the Finlay, toughest brawlers, I mean, hard-nosed guys ever in wrestling. The legendary Fit Finlay, his son David, will be with us in a short amount of time. But, I mean, David's a fourth-generation professional wrestler. And fourth generation, not many people can say that. If their family lineage doesn't go, past that. The fourth, I usually hear a bunch of third generations, but you never really hear all that much being a fourth-generation wrestler.
You don't. You really don't. I mean, very few could say that they were. The majority I know of are only third. I was thinking back to the DiBiase family. I don't know. There's not too many that are fourth generation if you think about it. That's a rarity.
Yeah.
But he does dabble in professional wrestling. He's actually tag teamed with his father on the independent circuits.
And what a tag team. I mean, especially the father and some tag teams. If you're going to know a guy, you know them like your father. I mean, they're probably really close to them. That's probably makes them click as a tag team. And I haven't really watched them, but I mean, they probably, knowing the Finlays, I mean, they probably know what they're doing.
Of course. I'm sure he pulls no punches. He expects nothing less than the best from his son.
No, trust me. He pulls punches. He's a Belfast brawler. He does pull punches.
Well, that's a good point. But without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and give him a call and place a call to Mr. Finlay. He is expecting us, and he's been very excited to come on. I've talked to him over the last week. He's definitely stoked. He's ready to come on and have some fun. So here we go. Oh, come on. I swear every time I come on here and do this, I never do it right. Something's always missing. The phone system
I thought you would have a talent to bring on guests.
You know what? Shut up. Usually they call in, too, so.
Hello.
Hey, David, this is Felix in Austin with Pipebomb Radio. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing very well. We're very glad and just honored that you can come on and talk with us.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking right now about the idea of there's not many fourth-generation stars out there, and the fact that you come from such a strong line of tough brawlers, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them, they're just some tough people.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm the only one right now that's, I guess, my age. Everybody else is younger.
So where did that start? Like, there's the fourth generation wrestler. Do you know who kind of started all for the Finlays in wrestling?
Roughly I do. Obviously it would be all from my dad's side. But my family on my dad's side is from Belfast, Northern Ireland. So my great-grandfather was on the building crew, I guess, of the Titanic. So during lunch break or whatever, from what I understand from my grandfather, is I guess during like lunch break, whatever, they go down to the boiler room, whatever, and they fight. And I guess, I mean, I would assume my great-great-grandfather would be good at it. I don't know. But, and then I guess that progressed into my great-grandfather wrestling and promoting, and then that I guess got passed down to my grandfather, who was doing amateur wrestling and track and field, and he was doing professional wrestling as well, both competing and promoting, which then went to my dad, who I guess took it a step further and went all over the world with it, and then I guess now the torch is in my hands. So.
And what was it like actually getting the chance to have a match with your dad as your partner?
That was surreal, which was really cool because that was kind of his like retirement night.
Oh. Okay.
And that was the night I debuted. So that was really cool because the guys we tagged against were. I guess guys that my dad wrestled all over the world with, you know, especially in Germany during the tournaments, which that was kind of the hot spot in Europe at the time when I was born and growing up. So all the guys that I would kind of like look after me as I guess uncles or whatever, or the guys I was wrestling with. So that was just a really cool thing to kind of experience because I guess there's not many guys that can say, hey, I tagged with my dad while he was still kind of in his prime, you know.
That's right.
And you know, when you were little, was it a given that you were going to become a professional wrestler? Did your dad give you a choice, or was it like, no, you're going to be a wrestler when you're older?
No, my dad never pushed it on me. It was never ever forced upon me, nothing like that. As early as I can remember, which I would say is about 2, I've always wanted to wrestle, and I've never wavered from that. Yeah, I'm still in that journey now. I've still got a long way to go, but still, I mean, I've never wanted to do anything else, and I've never, I guess, desired to do anything else.
Did you have?
And you've actually been able to attend some of the WWE shows. Have you possibly looked into the idea of, well, somewhere down the line, of course, to maybe go to their facility in Orlando and do some training there? Or do you, I mean, where do you see yourself in about 5 years? I mean, you're still a young man. You're still, if I'm not mistaken, you're 21, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just turned 21 a few weeks ago, actually. But right now, the way the company is set up, nobody gets to the top without going through NXT, and I think it's an awesome program. And in 5 years, I do see myself there, but I guess once WWE takes you, you're stuck with them, which is a good thing, and also, I guess, not such a good thing, depending on how you look at it. And from my side, is I want to travel the world, and I want to learn, you know, these different styles of wrestling. You know, I want to go to England, I want to learn, you know, what's left of British wrestling. I want to go to Japan and learn strong style. You know, I want to go, so I have more to offer, you know,
absolutely,
as opposed to going down to the school and just having that one input in my style, I guess. Also, it's just, you know, experience and doors open for me as well.
That's perfect, and that's really great that you're saying that you want to go across the world kind of before you kind of going your route to being a WWE superstar, because if you look at it, William Regal, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, I mean, they've all went around the world before actually getting their big break, either in, you know, WCW, whatever, and they were some of the best ever.
Yeah, that's true. And even the guys today that are starting to, you know, be up and coming, such as Daniel Bryan and I don't know if you guys watch NXT, but Sami Zayn as well. Those are 2 guys that I really enjoy watching. They went and traveled, and in my opinion, they have the best work right now.
Without a doubt.
I can agree with that.
NXT is from the past. WWE has had developmental tours like Ohio Valley Wrestling, and then there's FCW, and they eventually, you know, went to NXT. And NXT, I think, is the top of the mountain for developmental in WWE ever. I don't think there's ever been such a great opportunity for superstars wanting to go to the main roster than they have right now with NXT, because they have a top-of-the-line, never been seen before in WWE type of facility like the Performance Center.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I haven't actually been down to see it yet. I've been planning to. I'm still trying to figure out dates of when to go down and check it out. But for
Does working in Japan actually appeal to you as well?
Yeah, actually, I think my dad's in the process of talking to New Japan for going to the dojo, and then I'll see where that takes me. But that'll probably be towards, I guess, October of this year.
Nice. And you yourself, you were actually born in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
I was. I'm a product of the German tournaments, I like to say. So yeah, I was born in Germany, and then when I was about 3 or 4, I guess WCW picked up my dad. He didn't actually want to go. It was my mom that was like, hey, yeah, we should do this. It's a good experience, you know. And been here ever since. So I am 95% Americanized.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, did you actually get a chance to watch his brawls with that? Well, obviously the one that people talk about the most would be is your dad's fight with William Regal.
I don't know. I actually don't remember if I watched it live or like when I was on TV, but I know I have seen it, or I've definitely seen it on tapes because I'll go back and I'll watch my dad's stuff. I'm actually a huge mark for my dad, believe it or not. But I guess
you have
most kids
that, yeah, that right.
You know, but I'm proud of that. You know, I'm very proud of who my dad is and what he stands for and just what he's done. So I have no shame in saying that. But you know, actually as a kid, I actually didn't watch wrestling that much, which is, you know, kind of strange. But it's like I always had school or it was too late or whatever. But
that's good,
you know,
though. You stay with
you know,
your
but like you know, and as I got older, like summertime for me was like always special because I could actually stay up and watch wrestling. So it was during the summertime that I got to watch wrestling. You know, so I don't remember seeing it like as it happened, but I definitely would find ways to go back and watch stuff. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that's the wonders of the YouTube, and of course now with the WWE Network. I'm not sure if you actually are subscribed to it. It's only $9.99, folks. I'm just kidding.
Well,
$9.99 a month.
Well, see, because my dad's still with the company, we get it for free, so I am utilizing that as much as possible.
Wow! Oh, damn, that's sweet. That's sweet.
So for you guys, it's $9.99. For me, I don't have to pay for it. So lucky me.
I love that.
And it's I think the network is so awesome because everything's in one place. I can have YouTube school, but you have the WWE, and plus anything usually people post like upload anything from WWE related, wherever WCW is always getting taken down by WWE for copyright infringement. But now you have this amazing revolutionary thing in your hand or in your gaming consoles, whatever it may be, and it has so much history on that. I mean, there's a palm of your hand, like Clash of Champions and every single one of them, WrestleManias to anything in between. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think it was a phenomenal move. I think it's pretty awesome because even if you just look at it from the pay-per-views alone, I mean, you pay like what, $10 a month and you see every pay-per-view. I mean, that alone is worth it to me.
Well, I was actually going to touch on. Oh, were you going to say something, Austin?
No, that's what you were going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was going to mention as far as your dad's run when he had his run in 2006 with Hornswoggle. What were your thoughts about the team of your dad and I guess you could call him the little leprechaun at the time, but did your dad have fun working with old Horny?
Yeah, he actually did, and because I remember before my dad actually came up, or before it was on TV, I actually as a joke said to my dad, "Oh, you should get a little person and have him as a leprechaun." He's actually I've wanted to do that. He's like, I've actually been wanting to do that for 20 years now, and so I guess that was like a project that my dad finally got to do, and
nice.
he really had a blast with that. And actually, when they did the storyline of it's his son. For some reason at the time, I was really fascinated by little people, and I don't know why. I guess it's because that's the time when Jackass was really popular.
Yes,
so
yes.
So I think it's something had to do with it. Someone's like, okay, well, people are going to start asking you if this is your brother, and you're going to have to tell them yes. And I was like, yes. So I was just like, this is such a good bonus.
I would have died. I would have been like, yeah, Hornswoggle, your brother, absolutely. He is my brother. I mean, he kind of...
But not because he was on TV. It was just because he was a little person that I was so excited about it, which...
But
so I
he
guess
was
it's strange
like that. He's like a really
cool
guy, though.
He wouldn't be like you normally don't see... I guess you can say he's kind of a manager with his manager because you've never seen any little people as managers really ever. I can't think of the last time I've ever seen them.
Well, I don't know if he was really a manager. It was more... It was kind of one of a kind thing. It wasn't really a manager. It wasn't really a tag team partner.
Yeah.
It was just, it was just one of those things that you can't really pinpoint it because it was just unique.
Do you still keep in contact, or your dad still keep in contact with Hornswoggle?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, they
nice.
see each other at TV and whatever. They were just actually in Atlanta this past Tuesday, so I got to catch up with a few guys, so that was good.
Yeah, I remember I seen you posted something about that, something getting to go to a SmackDown or something like that.
Yeah, it was SmackDown and main event. So, and I actually just spent the past year in Africa, so I had a lot of catching up to do. So,
what was that like for
Africa? What did I do in Africa? Well, when I graduated high school, I was supposed to go to like Germany and England and Japan and all these places. And like 3 weeks away from graduating, I just felt like I needed to go and take a year off. So I ended up in South Africa on what was called the Africa Trek. And for the first 6 months, I just traveled around. Like I saw like 7 countries, and that was really it was like eye-opening. Like it was just amazing. And then the last 6 months I spent in Cape Town working with refugees. But funny enough, there was a wrestling school in Cape Town, and so I still got to get stuck in. And the guy's name is Sean Kuhn. He's out in Cape Town. He really took good care of me. He didn't charge me a thing. Just was just. I mean, just he's got a heart of gold, and he really just took care of me. I was doing shows down there. They really made me feel welcome and family. So that was, on top of seeing this whole side of, Africa, I also still got to manage to wrestle down there, so that was pretty cool.
So besides you, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have a 13-year-old sister who is the athlete of the family, as I like to say, and then
she's a John Cena fan too?
Brother. No, she's actually a Roman Reigns fan right now.
Wow.
She's another girl.
So.
No, I would have expect them to say Cena because a lot of the girls are, believe it or not, But
yeah, well,
Roman Reigns is a good guy though.
Yeah, so she always goes against the flow, but she's actually, I mean, my family is very heavy into wrestling. Like when I was in high school. Oh, sorry, my headphone came out. When I was in high school, both my parents were coaches on my wrestling team.
Wow.
My sister is a 2-time state champion in wrestling before she decided to move on to other sports. And my brother wrestles as well. He's still going at it, He's getting up there. So, like, we were very heavily involved in wrestling. My sister's actually, any sport she touches, she's just good at. She's just a natural athlete.
Well, you guys have
let me ask you,
I mean, if you wouldn't take advantage of it, it's kind of a, I'm so glad that you guys are, because, I mean, wrestling's in your blood.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
If you actually got a chance to, it's kind of a 2-part question I wanted to ask you. Getting the opportunity to come up there to, let's just say you got signed and you're up on the main roster now, and if you had the opportunity to work with a specific talent that could be in WWE, or maybe to get somebody who gets signed later, whatever, who would be somebody you would really want to get in the ring and work with? And if you had the opportunity, if your dad would actually consider it, I don't know if he would or not, or maybe not, I don't know, maybe to be a manager to you, would that be something you'd also be interested in?
I think that would be cool, to have my dad manage me. I guess that's all up to the powers that be to decide, though. But I think for me that would be a special moment, just to kind of have my dad in my corner. Mm-hmm. But to number one pick to work with, I don't know. That'd be a tough one. It'd probably be somebody from NXT. Yeah, there's really, really good talents, but I guess that's a hard one to say. I can't pinpoint it.
No, I don't blame you. I mean, that is a tough one. I mean, so many people would say Daniel Bryan. Somebody say knock on wood, would say maybe CM Punk. Some would even say, and you mentioned his name before, even Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Are you a believer?
Am I a believer?
Are you a believer?
Yes.
Thank God.
I had to ask. Sorry.
Of course.
You were speaking of Sami Zayn this past Thursday night on a WWE Network. I don't know if you watched it, but NXT TakeOver is pretty damn amazing of a show.
Yeah, I actually just watched it today. When I got off work, I was just like, whatever. So I came home and watched it. And it was. I mean, I think NXT is definitely if it was on TV, I think it would definitely be up to par with Raw and SmackDown.
I think so,
and
too.
maybe even overseas.
I don't watch it enough, but I actually did, with the advice of Austin, I actually did watch, and I was very impressed with Natty Neidhart and Charlotte, out there putting their heart on, and their soul into their match. And given the time they were given, the Divas don't get given very much time to tell a story, and there was really a lot of heart in there, and you can tell emotion and a good story told right there. Yeah, very much so. Natty is, in my opinion, Natty is probably one of the best female workers ever. She's just, she's got a heart of gold as well, but she's just a solid worker. And, she basically comes from wrestling royalty as well, so I guess that comes with it. But, funny enough, she was actually the one that got me into amateur wrestling before I got into high school. Yeah, I wanted to play football, which I never did. But, it was like right before I started high school. She's like, oh, so you're going to wrestle? I was like, nah, I'll do football. She's like, well, do you want to wrestle? Like, do you want to do this? I was like, yeah, of course. She's like, well, I wrestled in high school and it helped me, so maybe you should. So I took her advice and ended up just falling in love with it. And, so that was actually Natty Neidhart that inspired me to do amateur wrestling. So
yeah, and she has had some history in wrestling too. Traveling, with being in the Heart Dungeon, I think the only female to even train there, along with going to Japan, training with Tokyo Joe, and really getting a grasp on wrestling. And she definitely has a good grasp on it. I'm telling you, she's amazing. And her match with Charlotte, I think I'll consider, without a doubt, I'm not thinking twice about this either, is within the top five of at least the best women's wrestling match I've ever seen. And that's not an understatement. Being with Charlotte, she hasn't been doing this for she hasn't been doing it for long,
Yeah, no, it was a good match, especially with in recent history, definitely probably one of the top matches.
Definitely. Now, you've actually gotten a chance to go and travel to some of these events and be live there and watch it as it happens. Is there one particular event to you personally that stood out to you, be like, this is so awesome, this is a moment, I'm glad I'm here to watch this? Was there ever an event that kind of stood out to you that you were just so happy that you could be there to watch it because it was just amazing? Not saying that none of the other ones would be, but there's always those moments in time,
I think the first time because I really struggle to enjoy wrestling as a fan because I'm just engulfed in wrestling, and so I really struggle to enjoy it as a fan. I wish I could, but just mentally I can't. But I think the one time I was actually just mind blown was we're actually on vacation in Miami, and it was when the Nexus debuted, and they just completely tore and just raised hell. And for me, that was just like, wow, that's an entrance, and that forever stuck in my mind, which is saying a lot considering I've been around it a lot, and I don't really look at it from a fan standpoint. But from that, I was like, that was impressive.
I wouldn't mind actually seeing you if it would ever have been possible, because we talked about opponents. I wouldn't mind actually seeing you get in the ring with, of all people, Kurt Angle. That would be pretty interesting to me. I think you guys would put on a great match.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, it's because I know that you come from the amateur background, and so does he.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive. I think, if I'm not mistaken, your dad actually got to work with them a few times. I could be wrong.
I want to say so as well. They've definitely rolled around at shows. I don't know if it was for an actual match, but definitely before doors open. I know they've rolled around and stuff. But I think it would be good. I actually like wrestling people that have that amateur background, because then you can actually just kind of morph into amateur for a bit and then come back to pro. So that you can just kind of find a way to blend it without having to say, this is Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Dolph Ziggler.
Impressive. He won the Olympics with a broken neck. I don't know many people that would do that. So.
Very true.
He
did love to tell us about that when he was in his run in WWE, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, if I won the Olympics, I'd tell you about it. And if I won it with a broken neck, I'd shut up. So I don't blame him.
I'm sorry, Austin. I know I cut you off there. Go ahead, pal.
Okay. But I know guys from, amateur backgrounds like Dolph Ziggler, who's one of the best guys on the roster. And I think he's so, and you probably not say he's underrated, but I think he is, because he's had that chance of getting the world heavyweight title and kind of kind of get it off of him due to injuries or what have you, you know. And he's one of the best, I think, that they have. And for terms of, like, wrestling-wise, he's really good.
Yeah, from what I understand, when he was in college, he set a bunch of records for his university. I don't know where he actually went, but I know he was definitely one of the top guys to ever come out of his school.
No doubt about that. And as far as now that you're currently working right now, did you actually go to college as well, or is that something that you'd be interested in doing?
No, when I was 11 years old, I told my mom I wasn't going to college, and I'm sticking to that. But, you know, which my dad was like, you know, that makes sense with the way the times are going. You know, nobody uses, very, very few people use their college degree. But one thing we did come to a conclusion for was like, okay, that's fine. You're not going to go to college, but if you're going to wrestle, you're going to learn how to wrestle, and that entails. And I'm thankful for this now because it's really where my heart is what I want to do. But it's like, you know, you're going to go and you're going to travel to England, learn that style. You're going to go to Japan, learn that style. And you're going to learn these different styles, and then you're going to go to development because, you know, because my dad tells me all the time, he's like, you're fourth generation, you need to up the bar. You need to have something else to bring to the table. If you go and train with everybody else, you're going to become a robot. So, you know. And he's been in the business for 40 years now, so I think I'll take his advice.
Yes,
smart move.
he might know a thing or two, maybe. You know, give him the benefit of the doubt.
So do you have any shows
I was thinking.
Up?
Oh, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I said, do you have any shows coming up? Do you have any shows?
Any shows coming up? Yeah, I have a show on June 14th somewhere in Georgia. I forget the town for Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, which I love that name. I think it's hilarious.
Southern
Fried. That does kind of stand out.
Yeah, and then I am going to England for 6 weeks to work for Brian Dixon, and then so here and there, but in the States right now it's just on the 14th.
And if the fans of the professional wrestling world, I mean, nowadays they're as crazy as ever. If they want to keep up with what you're doing, you know, as your travels and so forth, do you? I mean, obviously you have a Facebook, and I believe you have a Twitter. Do you dabble in any other social media?
Yeah, I like Twitter because it's like Twitter's my favorite. So it's at capital V, so like capital T, capital H, capital E, David Finlay, all under lowercase, and it's all one word. That's my Twitter. I actually am very talkative on Twitter as well, so you can tweet me and I'll probably tweet you back. I have an Instagram, but that's pretty dumb, I guess, for wrestling. I just post stupid stuff. But it's Super Dave, in case anybody wants to come follow me on Instagram. I have a competition with my sister who's got the most followers, and she's smoking me right now. She's got like 3,000. Wow. And I don't know how. I really don't. She's 13 and has 3,000. I'm like, struggling in the hundreds. So.
Well, there you go. What's your Instagram, man?
Super Dave.
Super.
So,
that's funny.
You know,
not many people would get that remark because there was a TV show called Super Dave.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do Super Dave because I don't know. It was just like the day I got the Instagram, me and my friends were like doing all these, making jokes about it or whatever, and then it was taken. So I was like, I'll be twice as super, and it stuck. And that's my Snapchat as well. If anybody wants to Snapchat me.
Wow.
So
I've got nieces and nephews that do that, and I'm like, I don't get that, but hey, more power to you.
Snapchat, it's addicting. I don't know why. It's so stupid, but it's really addicting.
You should look at Felix. He has a Pinterest for some reason. I don't know why he has a Pinterest. But
you're going to throw that out there right now, of all time.
His vegetable and flower garden every single day. They're beautiful. Oh my God.
I won't admit to being on Pinterest, but I'm not going to deny it either.
I'm not on Pinterest. That's something that I'll tell you.
Well, if you must go there, Austin, I must say that Pipebomb Radio is also on Pinterest. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't keep up with it.
I'm running that, but shut up, Austin.
Thank God.
Anyway. But I was going to tell you, are you going to be attending any of the upcoming WWE shows? And would you actually be out here in LA maybe for SummerSlam or maybe WrestleMania in Santa Clara?
I might be out for WrestleMania. SummerSlam, I'm going to be out of the country. I'll be wrestling in who knows where. Somewhere between England and Germany. But yeah, WrestleMania, most likely, I'll be out there.
Well, let me ask you now, David. Would you be opposed to coming back on the show sometime in the near future, maybe later this year, possibly early part of next year, and just
no, not at all,
catch
not at
up,
all.
Anytime. See how you're doing?
Oh, for sure.
Hopefully, we provided a fun little discussion here, just talking some wrestling.
Yep.
Did you have any final questions for him, Austin?
No, that's it for me right now. Thank you for actually joining us today. I have a lot of respect
for
your
your
father. I can't wait to see what you do in the future because knowing your family and your lineage, you're gonna have such an awesome career.
Well, thank you.
And the fact that you've actually gotten to live on, life is short. You've actually taken advantage of all those opportunities that have been given to you and going with it, and that's awesome. And I know Austin usually refers to a saying. I can't remember what it is, and I'll let him say that. But the fact I just had to throw out there, getting to travel to Africa of all places, that's pretty awesome. Kudos to you for getting out there and just having fun.
Well, I appreciate that. And I encourage everybody to go see something that isn't America if you live in America.
That's right. I know Austin's going to take advantage of that. He's going to head to Canada soon.
Oh, nice.
I don't know, with Lance Storm, hopefully, I like Lance Storm. He has a cabin up there, so.
Yeah, well, that would be good for you.
Definitely. Well, thanks for coming along tonight.
Yeah, and definitely we've had a great time, man. You definitely are a hell of a talker. You got some great stories, and we would definitely want to see you come on back sometime in the near future, and we'll touch bases again on Facebook about that.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you. One last plug. Nope. If you guys want to know a bit about background on my family, there was a documentary done a few years back, and it's actually up.
Yes.
The thing's up on YouTube, so you can go watch it for free. It's called the Finlay, I think.
Didn't you tell me about that, Austin?
Yeah, actually, this is a couple of years ago, I think. I watched the documentary before, but yeah, definitely. I know there actually is one also on maybe made by the same company. Well, producers. They have one done on the Knight family too. Paige and her family, Soraya. I don't know.
BBC did a bunch of documentaries on that. I guess they just do documentaries for whatever. But if you guys want to go see that, I think it's pretty well done. It gives you a good bit of background information on my family. Yeah, it's about an hour. It's got some laughs in it too. My hair is one of the laughs you'll have. But no, it's actually really, really cool.
All right, I'll have to do that, man.
Awesome.
But in the meantime, we'll be in touch again real soon, and I wish you the very best, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, you take care.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it, folks. The one and only David Finlay. What a great kid. Definitely got a good head on his shoulders and out there just living life to its fullest and taking advantage of every opportunity and running with it.
And trust me, he has a lot of opportunities on his hand. Being a Finlay, being a fourth-generation wrestler, that's one hell of an opportunity.
Now, you touched on it earlier. I'm going to have to ask you about it now.
I was going to say something. I'm like, you keep on. Yeah, I like how you do this with the guests. Sometimes you're like, okay, well, you kind of symbol. You're gonna let them know. You keep on talking. God, keep on talking.
Excuse me.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, you're gonna.
You know what? If I'm trying to say goodbye, I'm trying to talk about things, and he actually plugged the video. So, hush.
I know, but beforehand.
Obviously, you didn't have as much fun as I did. That's okay though. I had fun.
Oh, I did. That's it. You might say I didn't because that's your mindset. No, I did. David Finlay's awesome. I can't wait to have him on.
You know what?
You're
just talking just to pick on me, so lay off, or I have to hurt you. Anyway.
Probably. All right.
Anyway,
well,
I wanted to definitely give you the third degree about something, and that being, what did you think about Payback/Raw? You're under the gun right now. Go.
Might as well talk about Raw. There's last night. I think Seth Rollins nailing Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose was on the back with a steel chair or something, and I was thinking the entire time.
Your heart
I never
broke.
expect.
Admit it. You know your heart broke.
No, I think it's actually a pretty cool concept. The reason why is because I thought Roman Reigns was the guy to make the turn and join in with whatever. I didn't think it would be Evolution, but Seth Rollins.
Well, actually, no, because and here's the thing. I'll let you finish, but then I have something to say about that. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, and Seth Rollins stepping out and really just nailing it. That was painful to watch. He was taking him out with a steel chair. I felt bad for Dean and Seth, but making that turn, and I think forming an alliance with Evolution, Seth Rollins. Like I said, I made this quote last night, and I don't know the exact words. I'm gonna try to remember the best way I can. But the best way if you can't beat a great team, you get one of their own to do it for you. And Seth Rollins did exactly that.
Very true. Now, going back to your comment you made about Roman, the thing what I've been seeing, and I know you've seen it too, is that they're going to build Roman to be a top star because Triple H is salivating at the chance to work with this guy at SummerSlam. And I think with the rub from Triple H, Roman's going to be going pretty far. He's a young guy. He's still, fresh in the business, a couple years. He's definitely going to be a world champion one day. Seth wasn't the one I expected. Not that I have nothing against him, because I think he's hella talented. I expected the more crazy Ambrose to do it, believe it or not.
Ambrose, really?
Well, because he seems more of a loose cannon type thing to where I could see it happening. It wouldn't have been as much of a shocker had it been him.
Well, no, the reason I was thinking of having Roman is because Roman would probably be like, well, I'm the powerhouse of this group. Why am I spending my time with you guys when I can be with the other powerhouses like Batista? Well, not anymore since Batista quit, maybe for like the 38th time. I don't know. He quits a lot. In 2010 he quit, and he quits now. And he's going to be back before the end of 2014. But Roman Reigns always be the guy that breaks away from the group. And I've said it numerous times on here. And he wasn't. Seth Rollins was. And I never would expect him to, because he's not. I'm not saying he's quiet, but he wouldn't. I wouldn't see him being the guy to do it. It would either have been Dean or Roman, but Seth was the guy to do it. So it's going to be extremely interesting here on out to see what he has up his sleeve.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, and we touched on this last week, well, I did. You were gone. You bailed on me. Anyway, that we would be getting in contact with another David. Is that?
Yes.
Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, David Fuller from IWHE Wrestling, who's on last week.
I would, I think he would be calling in. Any ideas? Did he tell you if he'd be calling in tonight?
He's going to be calling in a few minutes. Be patient, youngster.
Okay.
David Fuller.
What's that?
Yes. I said be patient, youngster. I said David Fuller.
Hey, you're telling me to be patient? I know you're not telling me to be patient. I know you're not telling me, because, I'm going to be like, and it's not happening, because Austin, of all people, who's never patient, who complains about everything, never happy, just an unhappy son of a gun, son of an unnamed goat.
No, that's not it. I'm just saying you need to be patient with David Fuller. He's going to be on here in a few minutes.
I'm patient with him. It's you that I'm not patient with. You tend to kind of be like, hurry up, and nitpick about everything I say. Chill. Have fun. I'm having fun.
It's worth it, trust me. But with David Fuller,
it's worth it to nitpick?
Wrestling,
I don't know.
He's actually having an event. I think it's actually this coming week, actually. And he's going to have on Matt Rivera, Tim Storm, and Johnny Organo making his Texas wrestling debut. And if you haven't seen Johnny Organo, he is one of the best wrestlers that the world has to offer. At least in the top 10.
Speaking of Texas wrestling, I got to throw it out there because of the news that I just found out a few days ago. The Von Erich family, Kevin is going to be, and his boys are going to be performing at Slammiversary. Kevin will be walking his boys down the aisle, and they'll be actually having a match on the card, which I thought was pretty damn cool.
I think it's going to be against? I think it's going to be against, I don't know if Kevin's wrestling, I doubt it. But I think it would be cool to see.
No, Kevin won't.
I think it would, Great Muta. Great Muta's going to be there too. So I'm thinking,
that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I remember hearing about it.
In my opinion, I think he's going to have Great Muta's going to have two of his guys from Wrestle One wrestle the Von Erich family with Kevin at ringside and Great Muta at ringside. It would be a pretty cool thing to say.
I didn't even think about that. That's a very good point. I'm pretty sure Muda's worked with Kevin, or at least one of the Von Erichs in the past.
Trust me, I make good points.
But you know what? I believe Mr. Fuller's calling in, so
point.
I'm going to go ahead and bring him on here, kiddo. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
David Fuller, yeah.
Doing all right. This is David Fuller with IHWE.
Austin's been looking forward to hearing your call.
No, I'm looking forward to hearing your voice, David. I think I was actually showing you a video to Felix. It was from the IWHE YouTube page. I'm like, he sounds so old school, like the way you present yourself and stuff. It's so awesome because I've seen a video of you in front of I don't know if it was in Texas. It was in front of this auditorium. I think that World Class Championship Wrestling had a couple of events at.
It was the Will Rogers Memorial Coliseum.
That was the one.
Will Rogers Memorial Coliseum was the site of a lot of the Fort Worth television tapings. Actually, if you read Mick Foley's Have a Nice Day, he talks about the night him and Gorgeous Gary Young wrestled Percy Pringle and Eric Emery in a scaffold match, and Mick was thrown off the scaffold into the ring. I was there that night.
Oh.
So it was really cool to go back and do the promo hyping IHW's return, which is this Sunday at the Will Rogers Memorial Coliseum. I've lived in Fort Worth my entire life, and thankfully, most people know me around here, so I was able to go into Will Rogers and film an interview that we're going to be posting up on IHW's YouTube page inside Will Rogers, actually inside the locker room where many of the legends of Texas performed. That'll be up hopefully in the next few days. But yeah, that promo we got to shoot in front of Will Rogers, and I appreciate you saying I sound old school. I've been around for about 17 years. That doesn't necessarily make me old school, but I'm a firm believer in we wouldn't be where we are today without the past.
Absolutely. You were saying, I was actually mentioning earlier that not only Matt Riviera, Tim Storm, and so many others are going to be there, but besides them, one really notable guy who I think is probably one of the best wrestlers in the world right now is Johnny Gargano, going to be making his Texas wrestling debut this Sunday at IHWE.
Yeah, he's going to be making his Texas wrestling debut this Sunday. I am a firm believer in creating moments and doing things that no one else does. And, we wanted to bring in somebody like Johnny Gargano. We wanted to get one of the better independent wrestlers out there and bring him down. And, because it really helps our stars working with people who are usually working all over the world. And I talked to Johnny, and once he had told me that, hey, I've never been to Texas before, I was like, oh, well, then we must make this happen. I know we were looking at Johnny Gargano. We were looking at Ricochet. We were looking at Chris Hero. Hero's been down here a few times. I don't know about Ricochet. But Gargano and me just clicked. He was very cool. He was very approachable. And, we made it happen. And actually we got an article on IHWEnow.com. Dave Sapolsky has actually chimed in, and he gave his 2 cents on what fans can expect this Sunday in Fort Worth on Johnny Gargano. I am really looking forward to Gargano coming in. This past weekend, he was in Singapore. This coming up weekend, he's going to be in Chicago for Dreamwave. And then on Sunday, he'll be down here wrestling Thomas Shire, who was trained by Dory Funk Jr. He's wrestling All Japan Pro Wrestling. And just a few weeks ago, Thomas Shire defeated Watanabe of New Japan Pro Wrestling down here. So this is going to be a really interesting match on Sunday. This will be Gargano's first time in Texas, and it's for IHWE, and I think that's huge.
Yeah, and Gargano was actually on, like you said, Singapore checking out the pandas and squirrel monkeys. Like he's been posting up all on Facebook the past days. I've been seeing them. And speaking of Gabe posting, and they had Dragon Gate creative part of the department. He's the guy that kind of makes the changes there and makes all the decisions in Dragon Gate.
Yes.
John Gargano, the longest reigning Dragon Gate. Hold on, my words are missed.
Spit it out.
Dragon Gate champion of all time. I mean, he's one of the best in this world. I love to watch him wrestle. And going up against a guy trained by Dory Funk, that's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, it really will, and it's going to be taped for IHWE TV. That's going to be our upcoming weekly episodic video concept on our YouTube page that starts. We're shooting for July 30th, Wednesday night, July 30th. It'll air right after IHWE Radio. It'll be taped for that show, and we're really looking forward to it. So yeah, that's one of the matches I'm going to sit back and watch as a fan on Sunday, and I hope to be in the audience when that match goes down. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But Johnny's been really cool. I look forward to meeting him. I know he's going to fly in pretty early Sunday. He's going to come to the building, and I'm going to enjoy sitting around talking to Johnny. And we're going to probably shoot some promos with him. I'm going to try to get a promo with him as soon as he walks in and post that, because that's what I believe in. Like, one thing I'm going to do. It's been 2 years since I've ran a live event. But one of the things I'm going to do pretty much all day Sundays, I'm going to be all over my Instagram. And as soon as wrestlers come in, I'm going to jump on Instagram with them, shoot a real quick video, and get that out. So that way the fans all over the world can see what's going on here in Fort Worth, because Dallas-Fort Worth, fifth largest media market in the United States of America, and its wrestling lineage is second to none. And I do believe that we still have some quality wrestlers here. You mentioned Matt Riviera, the current IHWE heavyweight champion. He's at Las Vegas right now at the College Riley Club. He wrestled this past weekend. Him and Greg Anthony, the NWA Lone Star Tag Team Champions, wrestled. Americos, who's also going to be a part of the IHWE experience this Sunday, and Matt Hardy. Tim Storm, the TCW heavyweight champion. Just the list goes on. And Black Bart, the former World Class Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion, is going to be the commissioner of the night. Spoiler 2000, who is a pupil of the late, great General Skandar Akbar, is going to be there. He's going to be wrestling Tim Storm. The list goes on and on and on. And then comes September, we've got Stan the Lariat Hansen. We've got the current Pro Wrestling Guerrilla heavyweight champion, Kyle O'Reilly, Charlie Haas. The list goes on and on and on. We're really excited about all our upcoming events this year.
Oh my God, man! That's why I'm so excited about IHWE, because, like you said, when I heard you're going to be having a YouTube show, I'm like, that's the way to go. Because if you want to get your name out there, I mean, not only your name but your product there, that's probably the best way right now in this generation is to put it on YouTube, or if you get a TV deal, which would be awesome in Texas, whatever. Watching on YouTube and just seeing what you have to offer is probably the best way. Whereas, I mean, other companies are like, okay, why aren't we getting, people watching us? You can't watch them if you don't have any place to watch them on,
Yeah, and, the old school television deals, unless you've got some really good syndication like TCW, has TCW Classic, and it airs every week on the Pursuit Channel and over 100 different markets. But, it is really, really hard to get television these days. Just the prices are outrageous. There's not a whole lot. There's a whole lot going out with not a whole lot coming in. And I was, for years, and I'm not some revolutionist that just came up with this. I'm not a catalyst for it at all. I know Sheldon Goldberg up in Boston or New England has a YouTube show that he has every week. And there are other promotions that do it. TCW does it as well, in addition to their television deal. It's not anything that's really new. It's new for Texas. I thought, well, there's, DVD sales, unless you've got a really hot company, are few and far between. And, I'm just looking at the world today. So many people can watch YouTube. And the thing I like about YouTube is you can watch it anywhere in the world, anytime you want, on any number of different devices. And that's what the thing with IHWE TV is that any time, if you're waiting for the school bus, you got a smartphone, you can watch IHWE TV. If you're, at your university and you've got some time to kill between classes, you can watch IHWE TV. It's going to be a weekly 30-minute episodic show each week. 30 minutes is not a long time. It's just enough to see a couple of matches, maybe a promo, some video packages, all that good stuff. And then you come back next week to see another show. And we're hopefully, the goal is to run these starting at the end of July and run them all the way through the beginning of the New Year's.
So you're going to have more shows than just one on Sunday. After Sunday, what is going to be the next event? Will you guys have the next event after that one?
Sunday is the IHW Experience, and we'll be taping 3 or 4 shows out of a 3-hour live event. After that, we have a small event, more like a house show, on Saturday night, August 30th, IHW Showdown. We will be taping footage from there. I don't know how much of that will be used for IHWE TV. And then, of course, Sunday night, September 28th, is going to be IHWE Old School Hustle. That is going to be a monstrosity of an event. And we will be taping that for them, too, anywhere from 4 to 6 episodes. In addition, we have hours of archived content from our past events. We've been running shows since 1998, and we have hours of content that at any time we can insert. We can go back and look at stuff from the past. We also have agreements with different organizations to air their footage as well. So we have a lot of content. So if at any time we need to stretch out things even more, we may throw a classic match on there, to mix in to the current IHWE, because my biggest thing is looking back on Texas's past. I'm sure both of you know this morning we made a huge announcement at the Cauliflower Alley Club where the Texas Wrestling Hall of Fame that we established in 2009, starting in 2015, it's going to become the Southern Wrestling Hall of Fame. We made that announcement this morning at the Cauliflower Alley Club in Las Vegas, Nevada, with James Beard and Morgan Dollar. We made that announcement this morning. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is going to start taking place next year in 2015. We've already announced the Von Erich family is going to be inducted. We've announced that the Giant Warrior is going to be inducted. We've announced Tim Storm's going to be inducted. We've got some other inductees that we're keeping under our hat. We'll be announcing them in the upcoming weeks. And then on Sunday, live at the IHW Experience in the ring, I will be making a huge announcement. We have one of the biggest legends of all time confirmed, and he will be in Fort Worth, Texas on Sunday night, September 28th, and he will be involved not only in Old School Hustle, but he will be involved in IHWE TV as well. But that announcement, everybody will have to wait until Sunday night, and as soon as I announce it, my social media team is getting it out there. So moments after I make the announcement, it'll be out there for the world to see.
It's so exciting the way you make it sound and how excited you are about it makes me excited. It really does. I cannot wait for the YouTube show and the announcement to be made. I mean, I think 2014 is going to be the biggest year for IHW. Without a doubt.
I appreciate that. I really do.
You know what's funny, David, is that when I had you on last week for the brief little chat we had, Austin was kicking himself because he really got a kick out of it. I was like, he knew all about you, but at first he was like, well. Then he's listening. He's like, oh, my God, next time we got to get him on, I'm going to be there. He made sure he did not miss this week's show. He really has a lot of respect for what you do and really gets a kick out of your presentation of how you throw it out there to the people. And obviously, as you can tell, he's a fan. He's definitely a fan.
Well, no, without fans, we wouldn't be anywhere. And Austin, I mean, I was a big fan too, and I still am. I love wrestling. I still watch it every week. I got the WWE Network. I mean, I'm still a huge fan. I was, I got lucky, and I met Johnny Valentine in 1998 when I was 16 years old, and he took me under his wing, and he agreed to train me. And I'm a fan, and that's why I'm so amped about it. I don't do this because it's a hobby. If people want a hobby, they need to go collect stamps. I do it because I love professional wrestling, and I have been able to travel. I met my wife through professional wrestling. She came to the shows. She brought her kids, and we met. And, I mean, I met my wife, so thus my son being born all comes back to professional wrestling. I've got to meet some of my heroes, and I've got to meet some wonderful people over the years. And everything I've done the past half of my life, the second half of my life so far, has been contributed by professional wrestling. So that's why I sound the way that I do, because I absolutely love it. We spend hours doing what we do, and if you want to do something, I believe you got to love it. You got to educate yourself on it and give the absolute best that you can, no matter where you are. I mean, we're in the independent stage, and there's not a whole lot of money. It's not a whole lot of monetary gain. We don't make anything off the Wrestling Hall of Fame. We lose money on it, but I don't care, because the legends get to come, the families of people that have passed away, and the smiles on their faces, that no money in the world
make it all worth it.
Replace that.
I like you.
So, I
really do. I really do. I mean, like you're saying, money isn't everything at all, because once you're dead, it's not going to mean a thing. I mean, what we have is experiences that set to us forever. I mean, experiences are what's going to go on to the end of time.
Thank you.
I had to throw out there,
really
David, too. I had to definitely plug because I really, really enjoyed it, is the conversation. You guys actually got to bring on the legendary Jim Cornette. And what I loved about it is that this is not even a knock at you guys or nothing, because we probably would have been the same way. But he came on, and you know what? You didn't really have to talk. He talked the entire time. But you know what? He made it so freaking interesting. You didn't want to say anything. You just want to let him keep talking.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that, because tonight we did a simulcast on the Cauliflower Alley Club, and we did 90 minutes, the first hours from the CAC, and Michael took his cell phone and just went around the room, the nostalgia room, and just handed the phone to people. Adam Pierce was the first guy to get on the phone with me.
Freaking awesome.
And, Adam Pierce was the first guy, and, of course, we talked about going down to developmental and training people, and Adam was really cool. The next thing I know, he brings on Andrea the Giant, not Baby Doll.
No way.
There was another female that got the name Andrea the Giant. I talked to her. Next thing I know, I'm talking to Rock Riddle. And Rock Riddle, I didn't get a word in edgewise. Rock Riddle came on, gave his introduction, and interviewed himself. So I got to take a 5-minute breather. And then the next thing I know, I'm on the phone with the Destroyer, Dick Bayer.
Oh, my God. Awesome.
Yeah. So, and then Sin Bodhi jumped on the phone. So,
I've heard he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is, but, you couldn't script this. This cast of characters, I went from Adam Pierce, who's probably real low-key, to the Destroyer, one of the most biggest heels of all time, mask guy, mean as heck, to Sin Bodhi, who's a kooky character. And I talked to Miss Dyslexia, she's a wrestler for me. She's up there having a good time. And tomorrow night we're going to do it again. We're hopeful to get Terry Taylor on and J.J. Dillon.
The David, you said Sin Bodhi. Is he still with Stacey Carter?
I didn't get that far with him. It was like a 3-minute interview.
Okay. I wasn't sure if she happened to be there. Maybe you got a chance to talk to her too.
Yeah, I wish. He was just handing the phone to people, and all Sin said was he was there to honor Ron Hutchison, because Ron Hutchison is going to be honored with the the trainer award. Every year the CAC honors a specific trainer, and Ron is getting honored this year. Ron trained so many great Canadian wrestlers like Trish Stratus. I believe he had a hand in Edge and Christian and Andrew Martin. So that's why Sin was there. But tomorrow night, the CAC has really jumped on board with us, and they're kind of giving us a hand. And so tomorrow night we're hopeful to get some of I know Terry Taylor's getting honored. I know Michael P.S. Hayes is getting honored. So we're hopeful to get one of those. And, especially we got the Terry Gordy Memorial Battle Royal on Sunday.
I'm going to have to say, I'm probably going to be speaking for Austin with this, but David, you've definitely given us an idea of maybe working, to even pursue something, and maybe even becoming members of Cauliflower. I know Austin definitely wants to be, and I've told him many times I want to be as well. That's definitely something to think about. The idea just to get out there and definitely push your brand, if anything, more further, get the exposure that you need, and just to have fun with it. And you definitely did, and that's very awesome. I'll definitely have to take a listen to that show.
Yeah, and, the Cauliflower Alley Club, they open their doors. Anybody who really cares about professional wrestling and has the love for it, like y'all do, obviously you do the show every week, and it's because you love professional wrestling, they will open their hearts, open their doors, open their arms to you. They did with us. They didn't know me I spoke to Carl Lauer about a year ago. I told him who I was trained by. I told him the Texas Wrestling Hall of Fame. And, he said members have to fill out an application, and then they get approved or not approved. He specifically said, I want you to join the Cauliflower Alley Club. I was like, okay. I didn't even know I could join. I didn't know. I never would have guessed. And then, just a few weeks ago, he made me a lifetime member. But, they will They will open up their arms to anybody who legitimately cares about professional wrestling. And that's what Morgan Dollar, he's an executive board member. He is cool. He's a cool cat. Carl Lauer, he has a story, man. He was a promoter for years in St. Louis and Los Angeles. He promoted so many shows. He's such a sweet man. Haven't got the chance to speak with Mr. Bockwinkel. I know he's the president of the CAC. Brian Blair's involved. Just everybody that I've talked to with the CAC has just been awesome. They've just been so nice and so kind. So, and like I said, the only reason I'm not in Vegas right now is because I have a show in Fort Worth on Sunday, and I'm out promoting every day to make sure we have a packed house on Sunday.
That is great, and I promise you it's going to be a packed house because your excitement for it is a key, I think, in getting. If you sound excited for it, I'm going to want to go to the event too, you know, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people kind of have a grasp on when they're out promoting their shows. If you don't seem excited about it, if you're not up and about and getting the word out, how are people going to know about it? You know, if you're not showing them that you're excited, it's going to be a great event, they're not going to be excited about it either. They're not going to, you know, have the inspiration and get up off the sofa and get in their cars and drive to the the place that you're wrestling at.
You know, when you bring up a good point, Austin, and I try to make sure that I am accessible. I will answer. Like today, a fan called me on my cell phone and had questions about the show, and I sat there and talked to him.
Wow.
I will answer anybody on Twitter. I will answer anybody on Facebook. I will answer. Okay, I'm out on the road and I'm hearing stuff, but okay, we're good. I will answer anybody that calls me in on Sunday. I will not be backstage the entire time. I make my point to get out and make myself accessible. That way, anybody at any time can walk up to me and ask me anything they want. I try to make myself, I'll be at the building for 12 hours on Sunday. I will be there from the time the venue opens all the way until midnight to make sure we're out of there and make sure everything's taken care of. But the point being, as soon as the show starts, I'll be bouncing around all over the place. But I don't keep myself
promoters
backstage
don't know the meaning of the word sleep, so.
Yeah. But I don't keep myself away from the fans. I don't keep myself backstage. I have a staff. I have an office. I have people backstage that run the show for me. If I need to be back there, I will. But I want to be out where the fans are because, number one, I want to meet people. I want people to be able to walk up to me, and if they want to shake my hand, fine. If they've got a problem with something they saw on the show, come tell me. If they have a question, come ask me. Nobody ever has to wonder about who's in charge. There's one guy in charge of the whole operation. And from everywhere from digital media to production to sound to visual presentation, I have a hand in every single thing that goes into IHWE. And, sometimes, sometimes I get flack from some people. They don't understand why I'm on the front lines. I'm on the front lines because, number one, no one knows this company better than me. Number two, it's my investment. And number three, if something sucks, it's my fault. If something's great, it's because I pushed for something. Yeah, we have people it's a team, but at the same time, it's a team. I'm a head coach, and I've got a great team. They're the ones who are going to go out and make Sunday memorable. All I'm doing is providing a platform. I'm going to be there, enjoy it as a fan. I want everybody to come. But at any time, anybody needs to find me. You don't just have to write me on Twitter. You can find me anytime you want. And I think that's what separates me from all the other promoters.
I'm just going to say this right now, and Felix knows when I say this about people or matches that I've ever seen, when I say the testimony on why I love professional wrestling, I'm going to say David Fuller is without a doubt a testimony on why I love professional wrestling. Without a doubt, I think you are so awesome. And what Felix said earlier, like 5 minutes ago, about a promoter doesn't know what sleep is. Now I'm going to rephrase that for a second here. A good promoter doesn't know what sleep is. There's good promoters and there are bad promoters. Like we've talked to some people who have had bad experiences with promoters, like within the past week with Extreme Rising and Hardcore Road Trip. Just to name a few, you're awesome. You are phenomenal. You make me excited about. I mean, I won't be able to make the event, but you want me to be able to be there in spirit at least.
I appreciate that. Hey, if you're there in spirit, I love it. Anybody who's passionate about what we do and cares about what we do, that's all that matters. I mean, I just want people to know what we're doing. I'm constantly trying to create awareness because Texas still provides good wrestling, but people got to know about it. And I'm living my dream. I'm lucky to be in the business. I'm blessed to be in the business. It's my honor to be in the business. The business doesn't owe me anything. I owe it. And I'll always be like that. And I hope to be involved in professional wrestling in some form until the day I leave this world. And then hopefully by then my son will take over and he will keep my legacy going.
Well, there you go. And on that note, Austin, any final thoughts or final questions you want to ask? David?
no, that's it for me right now. I'm just so excited that you come on here tonight and, kind of spread the word, just, more about IHWE wrestling this Sunday night. I'm not sure about what the time is for the show. I think it was like
well, they're Central Time also, so remember they're 2 hours ahead of me. So, sorry, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
6 p.m.
No, what I'm saying was that
the details are all is on IHWE's Facebook page right now.
It's IHWEnow.com is the official website. We do have a Facebook, we do have a Twitter, we have a YouTube, but the whole hub is IHWE Now, IHWENOW.com. That has everything. So anybody's got any questions about anything, just go to IHWEnow.com and you will probably get your answer. If not, you can email me. I'm on Twitter at HXCFuller, and I think I've got my plugging out of the way, Felix, so that's one less question you have to ask.
Well, you know what I wanted to bring to your attention before we let you go is that Austin, he basically runs a lot of everything that we do here. He runs our website that we have, and he took it upon himself, by no advice from me, he took it upon himself to help promote your brand, really. I mean, and post it on our website.
I saw that, and I greatly appreciate that. That is awesome. Anytime, and I was on my show tonight, and I told everybody I was going to be on your show later, hopefully.
Sweet.
And I want to get Felix, Austin, we'll get y'all on our show. I love working Pipebomb Radio. Y'all, your guest list is unbelievable, and like I told you this, Felix, before I even met Austin.
Yeah.
Felix, I thought you run a great show, and now that I know Austin is associated with you, I think that's even better. Whenever groups can work together, it's just so much better that way. And anybody can, we asked Cornette, we told, Felix, you listen to the show, we brought up the fact that anybody can host a podcast. There are a few out there that are really good, really true, and Pipebomb Radio.
I loved Cornette's podcast. His was awesome.
Yeah. Pipebomb Radio is at the top of that list. You guys really love the business, and it's a big contribution.
Well, we thank you. We definitely, when we get recognized, things like that, it definitely is worth it in the long run because we put a lot of time and hard work, as you guys have in your brand. So coming from you, it's a huge compliment. We thank you for that.
No problem, guys.
And you kind of know between the good and bad podcasts. I think there's a common denominator. There's some people that just do it to, they're on there, it's a podcast. I think it's a totally different story when you have people like you. I mean, me and Felix, I guess, can continue, put me in kind of that category who really love wrestling, want to get that word out and get that more experience and knowledge out to the fans by interviewing people like Jim Cornette, Bruno Sammartino, Ivan Koloff, the list goes on, Blackjack Mulligan, who's one of, and you guys need to get him on your show if you haven't already.
You need to get him on there.
Amazing.
Definitely.
I love him. We've had him on twice. He's awesome.
For that matter, David, you should even consider, too, try to get Susan Green because she's another great storyteller.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and y'all both will be a huge help. If y'all got anybody you can recommend, just shoot me a message on Facebook and how to contact these people. And in return, we'll do the same thing. Like I said, I've suggested Big Bill Anderson to come on your show. Bill helped train the Ultimate Warrior, helped train Sting. Oh, well, there you go. So, yeah. Big Bill's great. He was on our show tonight, too. For some reason, he was complimenting me very much at the CEC last night. And, I never even met
He's
Bill.
a big fan of your work, man. He definitely, I've listening to that, he's a huge fan of your work. He really takes enjoyment in the fact that how much passion that you put out there, and it shows. Some people can say they're fans, other people, they show you they're fans.
Yeah, for a guy who helped train the Ultimate Warrior and Sting, that just goes a long way. I never would have thought 16 years ago I was a punk kid that a guy who has that much stroke in the business would be a fan of mine. I mean, I'm a huge fan of his, and that's just, it's the respecting, it's the wrestling, it's a fraternity, and the real people who get it. Y'all get it, and I'll come on this show anytime, and I appreciate, anytime I can get on and talk about IHWE, it's huge. And I think, your guest list is unbelievable, and I thank y'all for allowing me to come on 2 weeks in a row to promote IHWE.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And I want to continue this relationship between IHWE and Pipebomb Radio for years and years to come. I think it's going to be great. because I mean you are probably.
I'm hoping that Austin will still be with me in a few years because he wants to pursue wrestling. But I mean,
that's a different story. That's gonna be a great time, and I guess if anything permits, I'll be on here every single week. But I mean, it's you're awesome. You really are. I don't say many things about people being a testimony on why I love professional wrestling, but you
Austin
without a
hates
doubt.
everybody equally, but he actually likes you though.
I like you. You're in that kind of that side there that's actually people I like. I hate everybody, but you're one of those guys that I don't. You're in that.
There's most times I don't like anybody either, Austin, but I like you too. I greatly appreciate it. That's awesome. I appreciate it.
Honesty.
All right, David. Well, you know what? We wish you. You know what? And how can they actually catch your upcoming event? Can they catch it online? On the website?
Like I said, Sunday night, anybody in Texas, we have people driving from all points. We have people driving from Oklahoma. If you're in the Southwest area and you want to get down here, it's IHWEnow.com. If you're unable to get down here on Sunday, we will be taping for the IHWE TV on YouTube. That should begin on Wednesday night, July 30th. All the information can be found at IHWEnow.com.
Gotcha. And if I cut you off there, Austin, I apologize. I didn't know if you had any other words you were going to say.
No, that's it for me. Thank you so much for coming on this week. I hope we can have you on for the next event to come on and talk about IHWA.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, definitely want to hear. You know what? Yeah, that's an idea. If you want to come back on and tell us how the show went, we'd love to hear from you, man.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just get with me. Like I said, I'm scatterbrained right now until Sunday. But just get with me. One of you guys get with me. Austin, if you want to get with me, just let me know the time and date. I'll be here, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, you have yourself a good night, and best of luck on your show, man. We'll be rooting for you guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Another great kid that's definitely got a good head on his shoulders and knows what he wants to do, and his passion exudes from him. You can literally feel it over the phone.
He's all my favorite people.
And that's not a very big list.
Nope, not at all. I mean, David Fuller is a great person. I really like him. Really do.
Considering that he's gonna, he kind of gave me the idea for bringing on Bill Anderson. Worst case scenario, we bring him on the following Tuesday after we've finished chatting with Bill. Bring him on maybe in the second hour. I don't know. We'll see where things go. I'll let you either get with him or I'll get with him, one of the two. But
tomorrow night we actually have on for our.
I was just going to get to that. Go ahead, pal. Go ahead.
David Finlay tonight, and then tomorrow it's kind of Father's Day early. I think Father's Day is next weekend, but we told the calendar, hey man, it's not your day to decide this. We're going to do it a week early, and we're actually having on the son of the late great Jumbo Tsustrada. I mean, AJPW legend, New Japan, well, not New Japan, I'm saying Japanese wrestling legend, Jumbo Tsustrada. I mean, I cannot wait to talk to them. But if anybody knows...
How did you pronounce his last name?
Jumbo, this is the way I've been pronouncing it for my entire time knowing...
You're a Southern boy. I could tell. It was like, Jumbo Tsustrada. I was like, who the hell is Jumbo Tsustrada? It's Jumbo Tsuruta.
Tsuruta, that's how they pronounce it. I pronounce it Tsustrada for some reason. I don't know why. Tsuruta.
That's the way I see it when I read it, and that's how I read it when I was reading some stuff on him.
You're probably right.
I found some pretty damn interesting things. We definitely got to touch on that tomorrow night.
He's amazing, and I cannot really talk about him. But Jumbo.
Actually, folks, I'm going to go on. I'm going to cut off here because I want to give him credit for something. This particular guest is somebody who's Austin has been looking forward to for quite some time. He set it up himself. He got on me to get educated on who his dad is, and not that I haven't heard of him. I have heard of him. I just, some people I know more about than others, and that's fine. However, I give credit to Austin, but it is, as Austin mentioned, the son of Japanese wrestling legend. Let me rephrase that because he's definitely an icon out there. His name is Yuji Tsuruta. And he will be coming on to talk about the career of his father, what he's doing nowadays, and so much more. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
You know what's great about Yuji? He actually speaks English. That's a plus, isn't it? That's kind of. We've had some people on from Japan, like Samiona. He's from Japan, but he has great English. We understood what he says.
He's been also working out in the States for many years.
Yeah, man, he's a guy. He's a guy.
I love Sonny. Sonny was so much fun. I didn't think he'd be that much fun.
And yeah, he's a person that you give your hand to, bringing people out from different places and into WCW and being a manager. I mean, he's really cool to speak to. And if anybody wants to listen to our interview with him, you can go on pipebombradio.weebly.com and check it out.
And you know, it's funny, folks. I actually wanted to embarrass Austin a little bit more. As soon as he gave me word that we had UG coming on the show, I could literally see, and I live in California. He lives in Louisiana. I could literally see Austin doing his happy dance when he told me that he'd got the son of Jumbo on, UG. And he's probably the most excited I've seen him, and that's not putting down any of our guests because we love all of our guests, but I think he's the most anticipated. He's most excited for tomorrow.
I mean, Japanese wrestling. I mean, I love Japanese wrestling. And Jumbo...
Am I lying?
I'm not... no, you're not lying, definitely. I love Japanese wrestling. I'm saying that Jumbo is one of the most legendary people to ever come out of Japan. He really is. He's done so many great things, and I'm not going to get into his credentials now, but let me tell you, next week I'm really going to touch on a lot of them, because he's done some phenomenal things.
And for some reason, I thought I heard you say next week, and I said, no, it's tomorrow.
Wait, it's tomorrow, not next weekend.
Either way, though, folks, we definitely, but that's not all. I mean, it may be for Pipebomb Radio portion, but we've got a lot. We've got a busy week ahead of us, folks, and we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. What do we got coming that's debuting this Thursday night, folks? We have...
This Thursday night, we have... Oh, continue.
Go ahead. I mean, in this case, he is a former WWE star. He was a former guest on Pipebomb Radio. He actually is going to be the host of Nacho Mama's Radio. He is WWE star Oscar. He managed Men on a Mission, and he will be coming on, and he will be debuting his show this Thursday. We will be announcing here shortly who will the first guest be on the debut show. There has been speculation about a possible name, but I'm not going to give that out until I know for a fact who it is. But in the meantime, his show will be debuting this Thursday night. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What's so cool about Oscar, he's actually one of the few in wrestling history to actually sing his own theme song.
He's also one of the very few that has not burned his bridges anywhere he's went. He's got good connections. He's on good terms with everybody. Nobody dislikes him. You know, so that's very cool, and that definitely opens a door for him to bring on any guest that he wants, and I hope he does. And for that case, you guys are going to be in for the ride of your life.
Even in the past, because he's been on another network, he's had on, with his show, he's had on Bret the Hitman Hart. That's a pretty big deal.
Bushwhacker Luke.
Bushwhacker Luke. I mean, to have a person like Bret, for example, that's a pretty big deal. And that's only a few weeks ago. I mean, he just jumped on to Pipebomb Radio. So I mean, if you know what's going to be up in the future, it's going to be some amazing things. I mean, probably the biggest guest you would ever think of.
Absolutely, and just to throw out there, too, because he brought it to my attention, Oscar was actually on another show to promote his debut. He actually was on Legends Radio, is what he told me, and he was on there to do some promotion for his upcoming show that's going to be debuting on our network. And so that's definitely going to bring some notoriety, some exposure. Check it out, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oscar, and he'll also be joined by his partner in crime from time to time. She'll appear, which is, I believe her name is Dreamy Mimi. Stay tuned
Dreamy
for that.
Mimi. That's a really creative name, isn't it? I love that, because you're like, it's Oscar with Dreamy Mimi. I mean, it just goes together. It's like butter. It just
but see, that's not all. That's not all we've got this week. We've got Pro Wrestling Historical Society. I believe they're on episode 7 this Sunday night.
Awesome.
We've got a full week of craziness, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And keep an eye out, folks.
I mean, Pipebomb Radio is really getting. It's really I don't want to keep on revealing things. I hate revealing really cool things that are going to be happening. But I mean, we have some really awesome. Keep on saying really, but we have some really awesome things happening in the future.
Yes, we do. That's why I was jokingly saying, because I know. And I was going to mention that to David, but I think we kept him on long enough. Personally, I know that you're going to pursue the career that you want to, and for me, I'm all about talking about it. You're about doing it, and that's good for you. What's good for me is talking about it. What's good for you is getting out there and doing it. And I know that once you get out there and start doing it, you may come back in and join me from time to time. I'll still keep going. I'll still keep pushing. And you better come back and help me. Otherwise, I'll have to find out where you're wrestling at and kind of make you come back. I'm just kidding. But, yeah, I definitely expect big things for Austin. He's a very determined and stubborn young man, so I don't think he'll settle for anything less.
Nope. Yeah, but, I mean, if the top of the mountains, the place to go see the clouds, I'm definitely gonna, go to the top. I mean, that's the only way. But I mean, I like wrestling, and David Fuller, for example, is a person that's the other testimony on why I like it. He's just so, and I just love him. He's so inspirational.
Well, you know what, though? Keep this in mind about something, Austin. Keep this in mind about something. When you actually pursue it and you get your training and so forth, I know that you're not going to settle for just Canada and live out there in Calgary. Not that it's a bad thing. However, what you can do is start traveling out there and getting your name around there and working these little territories. And who knows? For all you know, maybe one day you'll be working for David.
Maybe. I want to...
getting out there and working. Texas has got some crazy fans, let me tell you.
Well, Texas is, and we actually seen that time and time again. I mean, with the Von Erichs being on Pipebomb Radio, it's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's they have a huge following in Texas, and I know there's a lot of wrestling fans. It's a hotbed.
Absolutely. I know TNA's got their show coming up June 15th in Dallas. It is Dallas, right?
Anniversary, yeah.
I was going to say, help me out here. I can't remember the name. I think it was Dallas I thought I saw, and I'm drawing a blank for some reason. Whatever. But I think that's going to do it for us, folks. I mean, if anything, keep checking us out on our social media outlet where you can actually get all of our social media from our website directly without us having to constantly plug it. Go to pipebombradio.weebly.com. You'll be able to see the debut. You'll be able to check out the debut episode of Oscar's show. Keep up with the Pro Wrestling Historical Society, not to mention our shows, and all the great things that we have up there. What's that?
Soon we're going to be like the WWE when in the WWF days. We're going to get the F out, but instead we're going to be getting the Weebly out of the pipebomb.com.
It'll happen eventually.
We need to do that soon.
It will.
And we're going to have
it will happen eventually, and you know what, though? I did touch on something before we end things here that I don't know if you caught real quick. The idea of what he did really appealed to me as far as being out there for Cauliflower Alley. I would really love to venture out and do something like that. Get out there and you'll be hosting the show here, and then I'll be calling in and be like, hey, Austin, here's Nick Bockwinkel or for instance, Dick Beyer or even Terry Taylor or even for that matter, coincidentally, you get Michael Hayes on the phone.
Yeah, Michael Hayes is amazing. I like him. And, I mean, Nick Bockwinkel along with so many others.
Brian Blair, for that matter. I talked to Brian Blair, but, I mean, I know he's there.
Yeah, former guest on Pipebomb Radio. I mean, there's Cauliflower Alley, CAC, and it's that's where the legends go. That's where they stay.
And Bobby was going there. Bobby the Brain Heenan was going there for many years until his health started to get bad. Same thing with Percy Pringle. God rest his soul. He was going there for a number of years. But definitely, I think something that we can definitely venture out into in the coming years as we continue to grow. That's why I give credit to David for that idea, because that's something that is intriguing to me, and it's definitely caught my interest quite a bit. Other than that, I think everything is, we should make sure you catch us again tomorrow night, and of course Thursday night. We got some great shows coming back to back over the next few days. Jumbo Tsuruda's son, Yuji Tsuruda, and of course the debut of Nacho Mama Radio. Other than that, on behalf of Austin and myself, for Pipebomb Radio, this is Felix saying keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Good night, everybody. Good night, Austin.
Good night, man.
My name is Finlay, and I love to fight.